Hello, I'm Dr. David Miller, and I need to tell you something that might be difficult to hear. The very exercise routine that you believe is protecting your heart could be the thing that is silently damaging it. Every single day, I see well-meaning seniors making choices in the name of health that are putting their most vital organ at risk.
That is a truly alarming statement to begin with. Welcome everyone to Health Voices. I'm Sarah. Doctor, what you've just said goes against everything we've been taught. We're constantly told that exercise is the best medicine for our hearts. How can something so good, done with the best intentions, possibly be harmful?
That is the crucial question, Sarah, and it's a pleasure to be here to clarify it. The issue isn't if we exercise, but how we exercise, especially after age 60. Your heart is a remarkable muscle, but it changes with time. The blood vessels become a little stiffer, the heart muscle itself may respond differently to stress, and our ability to recover from sudden exertion isn't the same as it was at 30 or 40. Certain types of exercise that are perfectly safe, even beneficial for younger bodies, can create dangerous levels of stress on a senior's cardiovascular system. They don't look dangerous. They're often promoted as the peak of fitness, but done the wrong way at the wrong age, they become silent threats. Today, we're going to uncover 5 of these common exercise mistakes. This isn't to scare you, it's to empower you with the knowledge to move safely and wisely for the rest of your life.
Knowledge is power, and this sounds like essential information for anyone who wants to stay active and protect their heart. Let's start with the first mistake, which you've said is one of the trendiest right now.
It is. The first exercise style I am begging seniors to reconsider is high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. This involves short, intense bursts of all-out effort, followed by brief periods of rest. Things like sprinting in place for 30 seconds, resting for 20, and repeating. It's incredibly popular because it promises fast results. But for an older heart, it's like flooring the gas pedal over and over in a vintage car. The strain can be immense.
But isn't the point of exercise to get your heart rate up? Why is this particular method so risky?
It's about the speed and intensity of the spikes. A moderate walk gradually raises your heart rate, allowing your system to adapt. HIIT forces your heart to go from 0 to 100, back to 50, and back to 100 again, repeatedly. Your blood vessels don't have time to respond smoothly. This isn't just my opinion. A significant study in the Journal of Gerontology, Medical Sciences, looked at this exact issue. They found that older adults performing HIIT experienced significantly higher and more erratic spikes in their systolic blood pressure and heart rate variability. These are key markers of acute cardiovascular stress. It was clear evidence that this type of training puts a much heavier and more unpredictable load on an aging heart compared to moderate, continuous exercise.
And I imagine most people wouldn't even feel this dangerous spike happening internally?
That's the most dangerous part. You don't feel it. I had a patient, Mr. Tom, a wonderful 72-year-old man who was determined to stay fit. He started following his grandson's online HIIT workout videos. He told me, "No pain, no gain, doc." After just 2 weeks, he was in my office complaining of dizziness and shortness of breath. We put a heart monitor on him and found he was experiencing wildly irregular heart rhythms during these sessions. His blood pressure was spiking to dangerous levels. He thought it was just fatigue, but his heart was screaming for him to stop.
That's quite a concerning story. Is there a wiser and safer way to gain the heart benefits without facing such risks?
Choose movement that creates a rhythm, not a shock. The goal is consistency, not intensity. A brisk 30-minute walk where you can still hold a conversation, gentle swimming, water aerobics, or Tai Chi. These activities are incredibly powerful. In fact, a major report from the American Heart Association showed that older adults who achieved just 150 minutes of moderate-paced walking per week had a 31% lower risk of heart-related events. You don't need to push your heart to its limit to make it stronger. You need to respect it.
Respect, not shock. That's a great mantra. Let's move to mistake number 2, which involves traditional strength training exercises.
Yes. Mistake number 2 is performing crunches or heavy resistance lifting improperly. Maintaining muscle is vital, but the way we do it has to change. Every time you perform a crunch or strain to lift a heavy weight, you dramatically increase what's called intra-abdominal and intrathoracic pressure. You are essentially bearing down and creating a pressure cooker inside your chest and belly. That pressure squeezes the large blood vessels and forces your heart to work much, much harder to pump blood against it. This can cause an acute and dangerous spike in blood pressure. A 2018 study in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology measured this directly. They found that during heavy resistance exercises, some older participants saw their systolic blood pressure shoot up to over 200, a level that could trigger a stroke or a cardiac event in a vulnerable individual. And like Mr. Tom, they felt no warning signs.
You shared a story with me about a patient named Susan who experienced this firsthand.
I did. Susan is 68, full of life, and she wanted to be strong enough to lift her granddaughter. She went to a local gym and started copying the weightlifting and crunch routines she saw younger people doing. No guidance. One day during her last set of crunches, she suddenly felt faint and her vision started to gray out. She thought she was just dehydrated. We later determined her blood pressure had spiked so high during the straining motion that she was on the verge of blacking out. Her heart was being compressed, not strengthened.
So how can people build strength safely? Do they have to give up weights entirely?
Not at all, but you must be wise. First, trade the heavy dumbbells for resistance bands or lighter weights with more repetitions. Second, and this is the most important piece of advice, never hold your breath. Exhale on the exertion part of the movement. When you are pushing or pulling, holding your breath is what creates that dangerous internal pressure spike. And finally, focus on controlled, slow movements instead of fast, jerky ones. Strength isn't about how much you can lift in one explosive moment. It's about how well you can live every single day.
That's a crucial distinction. Now, for the third mistake, you say the danger isn't the exercise itself, but the environment we do it in.
Correct. Mistake number 3 is exercising in extreme temperatures, both hot and cold. Our body's ability to regulate its internal temperature changes as we age. Our blood vessels lose some of their flexibility, and our internal thermostat isn't as quick to adjust. In cold weather, your blood vessels constrict or tighten to conserve heat. This is a natural survival mechanism, but it also raises your blood pressure because the heart has to pump blood through narrower pipes. A study in the American Journal of Hypertension confirmed that older adults have significantly higher blood pressure readings in colder months, especially during morning exposure when the body's already under some stress. Conversely, in hot weather, your blood vessels dilate or open up to release heat. This causes your blood pressure to drop, and your heart has to start pumping much faster to maintain adequate circulation. If you're also dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, making it even harder for your heart to pump. It's working overtime. Say RAH.
And you had a patient, Robert, who learned this the hard way.
Yes, Robert was 74 and a dedicated daily walker. His routine was at 1 p.m., right in the middle of the day. One hot summer afternoon, he collapsed on his usual route. He wasn't having a heart attack. He was experiencing heat stress. His blood pressure had dropped too low, while his heart rate surged trying to compensate. It was a cardiovascular crisis triggered entirely by the heat. We simply moved his walk to the early morning before 9 a.m., and the problem was solved.
So the solution is to choose your environment wisely.
Exactly. Choose moderate, stable environments. Walk indoors at a mall or gym on very hot or cold days. Dress in layers in the cold. And hydrate constantly, not just when you feel thirsty. Always listen to your body's earliest whispers. A little dizziness, a slight shortness of breath. Those are important messages.
Let's talk about mistake number 4. This one is about the speed of our movements.
Yes, Mistake number 4 is performing fast-paced, jerky, or high-impact movements. I see this often in community fitness classes or with people following online workouts designed for a younger demographic. Things like jumping jacks, burpees, or quick dance-like side-to-side movements. While they feel energetic, they can overwhelm an older person's cardiovascular and nervous system. As we age, our reflexes slow, and our cardiovascular system has a delayed response to sudden demands. A study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity showed this clearly. When a senior performs a quick, jarring movement, there can be a delay in their heart's ability to adjust blood flow and pressure appropriately. This can lead to dizziness, irregular heart rhythms, and a serious loss of balance. I think of Mrs. Ellen, a joyful 70-year-old who loved her Zumba class. During a routine with quick hops, she tripped and fell. It wasn't that she was clumsy, it was a tiny delay between her brain's command and her body's ability to stabilize. The fall shook her confidence, but what worried me more was that she said her heart felt like it was racing and skipping for over an hour after class. Her system was thrown into chaos.
So what are the better alternatives for people who love to move to music?
Choose movement that is fluid, not jarring. Water aerobics is phenomenal because the water supports your joints. Tai Chi is one of the best exercises on the planet for senior health, building balance, strength, and cardiovascular health in a gentle, flowing way. Even a gentle dance class that focuses on smooth transitions rather than high-impact jumps is a much safer and more beneficial choice.
And for our final mistake, number 5, you say it's about when we exercise, not just how.
That is the final piece of the puzzle. Mistake number 5 is exercising too close to bedtime. It seems productive. You've had a long day and you want to tire yourself out to sleep better, but physiologically, you are doing the opposite. Exercise, even light activity, stimulates your fight or flight nervous system. It raises your heart rate, your core body temperature, and your adrenaline levels. A study in the journal Experimental Physiology found that while younger people's systems returned to baseline quickly after an evening workout, the nervous systems of older adults remained activated for much longer, significantly delaying their ability to enter deep, restorative sleep.
And that deep sleep is when the heart does its most important repair work, correct?
It is absolutely essential. Deep sleep is when your blood pressure naturally lowers, inflammation is reduced, and cellular repair takes place. If you are consistently disrupting that healing window, your heart is always playing catch-up. It never gets the chance to fully rest and reset. Over time, this is directly linked to higher blood pressure and increased cardiac risk. The solution is simple. Schedule your main exercise for the morning or early afternoon. Keep your evenings for gentle, calming activities like light stretching or deep breathing. Let your heart know the day is done. SARAH.
This has been an incredibly important conversation, Doctor. HIIT, improper lifting, extreme temperatures, jerky movements, and late-night workouts. 5 things many people are doing with the best of intentions.
Dr. David Miller. And that is the key takeaway. This is not about scolding or creating fear. It's about shifting from a mindset of harder is better to wiser is better. Your heart has been beating for you for over 6, 7, or 8 decades. It deserves our respect, our care, and our wisdom. Listen to its whispers so you never have to hear it scream. Choose gentleness. Choose rhythm. Choose consistency. That is the true path to a long and healthy heart life. SARAH.
Wise words to live by. Thank you, Dr. David Miller, for sharing this vital information. To everyone watching, if this video helped you rethink your own exercise routine, please let us know in the comments. What is one small, wise change you plan to make? Your story could help someone else. And please like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Health Voices for more conversations that protect your health.
Dr. David Miller. It has been a privilege. And please, everyone, remember that this is educational advice. It is essential to consult with your physician or a qualified physical therapist before starting or changing any exercise routine, especially if you have a pre-existing heart condition. Take care of that beautiful heart.